What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Apex Legends on Nintendo Switch video. I'm Steezy. Appreciate you being here. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks, and they all start out here in the firing range. Now, if you want to get better, the first place you got to start is your settings. So you're going to go ahead and hold down the button and go into your settings, starting the gameplay. If you look, there's a lot of different options there. Default is pretty good on most of them. You get down to the bottom there, just above accessibility, and there's cross-platform play. You can enable that or disable it, whatever your preference. There's some other options there. Be sure to mess around with them and see what works well for you. Then move over to the controller, and as I recommended in previous videos, go to button puncher. We like this so that our right analog stick becomes our crouch. This will be helpful in dodging other opponents' shots. Stick layout, I leave on default, even though there's other options. Default seems to be good. I leave other options here as they should be. Now in sensitivity, I prefer 3 and 3 with the controller that I'm running, which is the Nintendo Switch Pro controller. And on response curves, I leave it on classic. Dead zone small, everything else is pretty much the same. You scroll down just a little bit further and you see motion controls. I recommend that you turn these off. They come with them on default. If you shut it off, when you move your Switch, your controllers, you won't have to deal with the gyro motion control. This will help you in your aim. On video, there's not many options. Default, they'll have normal selected for sprint view shake, switch it to minimal. And on audio, that's purely preference. Do with it how you please. So that's it for the settings. Let's talk about movement. Apex is definitely a movement-based game. As you can see, I'm strafing side to side while trying to keep my focus and crosshairs on the dummy. I'm also crouching in between. This makes it so that while I'm shooting or reloading, it makes it more difficult for the opponent to be able to get a shot off on me. This is very helpful. It's also good too to know that if you jump while in motion in a direction and press crouch, you'll slide. You don't have to be running. Just jump in a direction, press down on that analog stick, and you slide. Now let's talk about aim down sights. I recommend getting a gun that requires a little bit more precision, like the Wingman, and I just start right in the middle, and I bounce back and forth between the targets here, making sure I hit all of them. It doesn't have to be headshots, but always recentering back on the dummy after each shot. This will take you a few times, but it'll be worth it. It's also good down sight to work on long range. I recommend using something like the G7 Scout. Start with the target closest, moving side to side, and then move to the next one, and then all the way to the back two. There should be 4 in total. Get a whole clip without missing any. Then aiming down sights while strafing. This is important. If you start just in the middle, use something like an R301, and you just strafe while keeping your crosshairs, aim down sight at the dummy, and go left, and then go right. Do this a few times before moving on. And you want to be able to kill them all in one clip. As you can see, I use a light mag, a level 1 barrel, stock, one-time reflexes. Now, aiming down sight while sliding, this is another tool that you should use in your movement. And as you notice, when I go forward, I slide, I shoot, and then I get up and I move to the left, and I move to the right. You always want to keep moving in different directions. You want your enemy to guess where you're going. You don't want to make it easy for them. To the left and to the right. And then you can also, from behind cover, you can slide out and give them a couple shots as well. As you can see, I keep moving after I get up after my slide. Do that from both sides a couple times, just to make sure that you can get your crosshair centered. Kill the dummy in one clip. Now, a big help in the game is hip firing. Don't be scared to hip fire. If you're close enough, you can use it, and it allows you to move a little bit faster. Now, once you get in just the side-to-side strafe hip fire, add some crouches to it. This helps, like I mentioned earlier in the video, with movement, evading enemy shots. Now, if you want to take these tips and put them into action without actually getting into the map, Apex has a little Easter egg. It's the same one if you're familiar with it on different platforms like Xbox, PlayStation, or PC. Basically, you go into the firing range as any legend, you go all the way to the far right side. You climb up inside, and you'll start with your pistol like normal. You'll go into your settings, you'll go into your bag, you'll get rid of everything you have, no weapons, no ammo or anything. Change your legend to Pathfinder. Look above, there's a small platform. It's hard to see here, but you grapple up onto that small platform, center yourself up, then you're gonna crouch, look straight down, go back in, change your legend to whatever legend you want. I choose Lifeline. You hear that little cha-ching? That means that it works. You go back down, and as you can see, as I'm sliding back down, things are gonna be a little bit different. The dummies are going to engage. And don't be fooled, while they're dummies, they can do some damage. So this is really good practice without getting into a match and affecting your KD. As you can see, they took me out. But try it a few times, and what you want to do by using this dummy feature is it allows you to test the different skills that we've been talking about in this video so far. Moving around with your strafing, doing your movement, your crouching, hip firing, all the different ones. And try out the different weapons. Get comfortable with a lot of them. At this point, all that's left is getting into an actual game and testing out the tricks that you've learned after spending time in the firing range, perfecting, working on improving your skills, movement, and gun handling. If you've enjoyed this video, please be sure to smack that like button, hit the subscribe, and check out other videos that we have. Happy gaming, legends.